I've hit it already. We're just waiting. And waiting. What is up, everyone, and welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. You have your normal Wednesday team here today. You have myself, Alpha Dog Bets, here with JD from Line Movers, and we have Jammer from Jammer Bets. Fellas, we have another basketball slate today, breaking down a little college hoops, a little professional basketball as well. JD, over to you. How are you today, my friend?
Doing good, man. A little bit cold. The heat has decided to not really work out well for us here. So after the show, I'm going to have to crawl under the house and actually see if I can fix it.
All right.
But other than actually that, things are great.
Hey, you know, I was going to say things could be worse, but it's like 15 degrees here, bro. So that sounds pretty brutal. I hope you get that fixed very quickly and you don't have to be under the house with the animals and all the other whatever the hell is under the house that you're going to have to deal with. So I hope that goes quick for you. Jammer, nice smile today. In a good mood. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's freezing cold here outside. That's what I thought JD was crying about there. I was like, I think it's a little bit colder up here in the north than it is where you're at. The house heater going out is definitely not ideal time. Yeah.
Brutal. And how are you? All good with you, Jammer?
We're good over here, man. We're good.
Well, we have good news for you. Nick Castrucci is happy you're here. His favorite Steelers fan is on today. Fortunately for all of us, we will not be talking about the Steelers today. Very fortunate for everybody involved.
We could.
We could, but we're electing not to. And I'm seeing from the comments that we are live on TikTok. Everything is flowing correctly. So shout out to all our TikTok viewers. We appreciate everyone, no matter where you are watching us from. Fellas, let's quickly go over a recap how we did yesterday. We're covering 5 games today, so I'm going to get into it rather quickly because we have a lot of games we want to go over, and I do apologize. There is a garbage truck going right by my window. My window's open. I know you all can hear it. I'm sorry. There we go. We're good now. It's gone. Let's get into the recap. JD, my boy, how did you do yesterday?
Man, I got to come on here and be honest. Yesterday sucked. Yesterday was really bad. That was the worst day that I've had in quite some time.
Those days all happen, but yet again, we all know you've won, I think, every day but 2 days this year, if I'm remembering correctly from yesterday's show. So I'm sure you're still crushing it. Jammer, how'd you do yesterday?
I'm on the same boat with JD, man. Worst day of the year so far. Ball just didn't bounce our way. I had the Celtics first half -2.5. Great CLV.
Brutal.
Nuggets just had a crazy second quarter. Had a couple props that just ended by 1 rebound. Lakers lost for me in a parlay. They lost to the Luka-less and Kyrie-less Mavericks. Just a rough night in the NBA last night.
Yeah, I totally understand that. We split our free plays over here on my end. The Warriors lost outright to a depleted Heat team. I did not see that one coming, but we did cash our best play or our favorite play of the day yesterday, which was the Celtics. They did bring it home. We got a little lucky there. I mean, Jokic was ruled out rather late in that one, so not going to be all gung-ho about it. That's one we did get lucky on. I'm not going to be celebrating too much, but we needed that one. I'm glad we were able to bring that one in. Nick, great point here about the Tennessee game because I was on Tennessee. What a disaster. I turned that one on at halftime and knew I didn't need to check the score the rest of the game. That one was absolutely brutal. But, fellas, it's a new day. We have a wonderful slate today. You guys ready to dive into some of the action?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Let's get into it, boys. We're going to first start today with a little college basketball. We're diving into the college basketball league. And the first game we're breaking down, and the only game we're breaking down, to be honest, is going to be UConn taking on Villanova. When I originally saw this line, I went, how is this possible? How is Villanova favored over the 2-time defending national champs UConn? I know UConn is not having a typical UConn year, but they are still 12-3. They're 4-0 in conference. And does anybody really counting UConn out with their coach, with their team? I'm not. I still believe in them. And Villanova's been good. They haven't been great. They're 10-5 on the year. They're 3-1 in conference. JD, you are the college expert. What are you seeing in this one?
Yeah, this line, I don't think it's wildly off. I can see where the line is where it's at, because actually, like, Nova loves to shoot threes, and then they actually make threes at an actual pretty good clip too. And then when you look at UConn, their actually 3-point defense is really not that good. So I think that's what like most people are actually seeing here. For me, though, while all that's true, I think the UConn defense is going to allow less actually 3-point chances, though. So in this game, I think it's really going to come down to that. So me, I have UConn as actually the actual slight favorite here. But I'm going to take a little different route here for this game, because this should be a really good and actually like close game. UConn, I believe they're on a 8-0 run now. And like during that, the main thing that they've been doing is scoring points. They've been scoring points against everybody. So what I'm going to do here is actually take their team total over. You can get that at 72.5.
I like that. One thing I wanted to bring up on this game before I kick it over to Jammer is the public betting splits on this one. So Connecticut has 70% of the tickets, but only 50% of the money. That means 20% of sharp money is coming in on Villanova. To me, this one's a little bit of a fishy line. I would have thought that Connecticut would have been maybe a 3.5-point favorite going into this game. For that reason, I am going to stay away. If I were to pick a side, I would probably go Villanova. They are home, and with the way nothing makes sense and the way the Sharps are going, I would probably go Nova in this one. I mean, it's a tough game to read, but I just think the line is fishy, and if something is fishy, don't take the free candy, because some people could say Connecticut looks like a free money play, underdog here. Don't always take the candy. Sometimes the play you don't think is the right one is the right play. So for me, it's either Villanova or no play, and for right now, it is no play for me. Jammer, what do you got?
I like that little saying you had there, Alpha. But for me, I'm kind of building off what JD said. There's going to be a lot of threes. Both of these teams are big over teams too. Recently, I think it was UConn, 4 of their last 5 have gone over. Villanova, 5 of their last 6 have gone over. It's definitely a big time matchup, so we could see some more defense on both sides. But I just think that they're just going to let it rip. I like the over 145.5 between these two teams.
I'm trying to see if I can get the splits on the total, because I was only looking at the side, just curious to see what they are. And of course, as I pull it up, I fat-fingered another game and couldn't click on it. So give me 1 second here to pull it up, because I am curious. I mean, you guys have been talking, excuse me, about this over, and it does make the over sound enticing, but here are the splits, and that is not what I wanted to see on the over here. So there is 75% of the money on the over to only 25 on the under. So the money is coming in on the over, and it's not moving.
There's no surprise there.
It opened at 145, but with all that money coming in, wouldn't you think the number would go up a little bit? Because it seems like it's holding strong at that number, even though there's a high public betting on that angle. Does that scare you if you see something like that, Jammer? That's a question I want to ask you. If you see something like this, where you're seeing a 75% of everybody reading it one way, does that deter you from taking that bet? Does that make you more interested in that bet? How do you read it when you see some of that kind of information?
Oh, 100%. If you're following the line, like whenever it first drops and you kind of have an idea of what play you want, say you want the over, and you're kind of seeing that all the money's coming in, but you're not seeing that line move, that should give you a hint towards something. But this is one of those lines where I have not been looking at it from whenever it first dropped to where it's at now. So that news that you just dropped to me, that kind of makes me think the other way around now.
That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I saw that too, and in my head I go,
Because there's one of the games that we're talking about today where I've been eyeing up the total, and we'll talk about it later. But
we all know Jammer's the NBA expert, so I'm excited to get some of your takes for the NBA on that one. JD.
I do have to say, as far as my number on the total here, I have it at 149.
Okay, we like that.
So like I am showing, the over here. It does look like the line is starting to tick down some. So like you're saying, that's not really a good sign. But as
Reverse
far as
line movement.
yeah, but as this is one of those sports though where my numbers, I tend to just trust them more than any type of line movement. So
Understand completely, and you do
I
very,
actually start
very
thinking
well with that.
play. So,
Diamond Dog, I'm going to be honest. We have a couple questions here before we get to the NBA. Do we think Hubert Davis should be fired? I know that comment was going to come from Tar Heel. I'm going to be honest. There are so many teams in college basketball that I am not in tune with UNC that much to tell you my take on the coach this year. I mean, I see their games. I watch as much as I can, but I'm not as dialed in, I would like to say, with UNC as I probably should be. Not a UNC fan, anything like that. So I don't really have an opinion on that. Do either of you guys have an opinion on that?
well, actually, me as a really big Duke fan, I would say no. They actually should definitely keep him there. So
that should tell you everything you need to know. Very understand that from JD. He's our Carolinas guy. Any question down there, this guy knows the answers. He's dialed in to that market. Jammer, anything from you on that?
Nothing on the UNC, but I do have a question for JD. Why'd your boys have to beat up on Pitt last night, man? Like, you couldn't even let it be close. Like, come on.
Right.
No, they were definitely not allowing you to do that. One more question from Diamond Dog, which is an interesting one, but to me it's too early. I'm not going to be giving out my Final Four quite yet. There's so much more basketball, and we're just really entering conference play. So, like, you can't base your teams off what you saw them do against, like, Lamar University or against, Weber State. Now we're going to see them play some quality competition. You get a better idea of what teams you think are elite compared to teams that you think are fraudulent. Either of you guys have a Final Four yet, or you have to wait a little bit as well?
Not really yet.
It's tough right now. It's tough right now.
You got to make the people wait.
Yeah. We'll have a
Keep
lot
it
of
guessing.
college basketball content coming up, guys. NFL's rounding up. We're really going to be heavy in the basketball world. So we'll be going over all this stuff when there's a little more information. We'll see how teams deal with injuries, more stuff along those lines as well. But, fellas, that's going to do it for college basketball today. I'm excited that we have a 4-game NBA slate we're breaking down. So you boys ready to dive into that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hitting the graphic, getting the game up, and to me, it's the best game of the night. We're diving in immediately to an absolute banger. The Oklahoma City Thunder going to Cleveland, taking on the Cavs. Guys, combined, their record is 61-9. Combined. The Thunder are 30-5. The Cavs are 31-4. These teams have had some of the best starts we've ever seen to an NBA season, and they get to play each other tonight. Taking a look at how these teams have done in this specific situation is kind of comical because of how good they've been. OKC is 13-3 on the road this year, and the Cavs are 18-1. Both of those are incredible numbers to be at this point in the season. Quickly, I will touch upon ESPN BPI because I do like to talk about that.
I wanted to hear.
ESPN BPI is giving out that it's 40% for OKC right now and 60% to the Cavs. So they are favoring the Cavs in this one. Over to the injury report, the big names that are not going to be there for the Thunder tonight, Alex Caruso and Chet Holmgren will be out. Everyone else who's out is no one you really have to worry about. For the Cavs, game time decisions are Sam Merrill and Isaac Okoro. Both those guys are role players, but not huge impact players, to be completely honest. So, Jammer, we're back to the NBA. Best game of the night. What do you got?
It could be a toss-up for best game of the night. We got another one that we're talking about later on in the night. But this one, man, 2 powerhouses, you mentioned it, both leading their respective conference. Could be a potential NBA Finals matchup. After 5 straight home games and 15 straight wins for the surging OKC Thunder, they're going to travel to Cleveland, who have only lost once at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, and they're riding a 10-game win streak of their own. These two teams lead the league in a lot of categories, but some important ones to note. Cavs lead the league in points per game, but OKC leads the league in lowest opponent point per game. So while I do think we could see a surge of scoring from SGA and Donovan Mitchell, I think the team comp should keep this game under the total of 230.5 with defensive stars like Evan Mobley, Lou Dort, Hartenstein, Jalen Williams, Jared Allen. But this is one of those games that I've been paying attention to the total. It's I think it opened up at like 225.5 or 226.5. And overnight, it bumped up 4 points. It's like,
yep.
Is the total going too high now? Or is it like they're just following the money where, they kind of have to force this total up? And this is one of those games where it's like I had a strong urge to take the under, but now it's like with the total going up this high, I definitely don't want to take the over, but I'm kind of scared to take the under at this point. But I do have a strong lean to the under if it's going to jump up this high. But building off that under, I think that there should be limited possessions, and with limited possessions, there will be limited rebounding opportunities. And I think one guy that I'm going to be targeting here is Evan Mobley, who over his last 5 games is only averaging 6 rebounds per game on 13 rebound chances. And I believe the paint's going to be dominated by players like Isaiah Hartenstein and Jared Allen. So I'm going to be taking the under on Evan Mobley, 9.5 rebounds. I'm going to let that one out. That's one of my best bets of the day. And for my sake of enjoyment, I'm not going to be taking a side, but I like to do if you put a gun to my head, I'll pick a side for you guys. I'm on the Thunder here. I love the Thunder on the road. I've said since the beginning of the year that this is my team to go all the way. I just think they're built so well throughout their lineup. Obviously, they're missing Chet Holmgren and Alex Caruso. So, I mean, that'll be a huge addition once those two get back. But I still love the dynamic of this team with the scoring and the defensive capability from everyone on the court. So I'm not going to be taking an official side, but I'm going to be rooting for my Thunder tonight.
There we go. So I did the old thing.
Let's see.
I pulled up the public betting splits, and man, is it pissing me off because it's exactly what I didn't want to fucking see. Pardon my language. So the Cavs have 77% of tickets on the money line. So 77% of all the bets. So let's say there's 100 bets. 77 of those tickets are on the Cavs money line. However, 58% of the money's on OKC. So that means that 23% of tickets have 58% of the betting share. The Sharps are hammering OKC on the money line in this one at the plus money. Maybe because there's value, maybe because it's a minus 135, 140 on the other side. But that's where the numbers are lying. The spread doesn't have any crazy splits. It's kind of 50-50. But when it comes to the money line, the heavy right now, what people are steaming with, where it's going, is towards OKC. So that kind of goes off what we were just talking about. JD, let's go over to you. What do you got in this game?
You know, me and Jam are on the same page here.
Scary.
It was going to be like I was going to come here and say, you know, it's really weird for me to say it, but the under. I love the under, which you don't ever hear me say that. You know, but for all the reasons Jammer said, it makes so much sense. And then on top of it, I actually have this number at 223. So I'm way off here. So now the fact that Jammer actually set it on 2, I think I think that this is going to have to be a play now. I'm actually going to go ahead and jump in on that. Give me the under 230.5.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Side though, to me the number makes perfect sense. To me, just actually these are basically even teams, and actually like then you give the Cavs home, and then that like gives you the line there. So
yeah.
To me, the side, it just like the line, it actually makes perfect sense. So
I'll be short and sweet here. I'm all over the Cavs. The Cavs have been the best home team in basketball for a team that I could remember in a very long time. They've been absolutely dominant. They're 18-1 on the year. I know OKC's been fantastic, but I do think they will struggle coming into this. And OKC has been playing a gauntlet of a schedule. Their last couple of games include the Celtics, the Knicks, the Clippers, and Minnesota. They've been playing some tough games as of late. And they're going on the road, taking on a team that is absolutely thriving at home. This team has also been their fans have just been electric since this team has gotten so much better this year. They've just been showing out and showing up, and Cleveland is becoming a very tough place to play as a road basketball team. I think the Cavs should be able to get it done easily tonight. I know the public betting splits are not saying that, but you have to take in the information that you have and still make decisions about bets that you still feel are right. I love to look at the public betting percentages. They don't dictate what I'm going to bet. I make my selections, and then I usually check them after to make sure I don't have anything that's a 95% to a 5%, something of that nature. But you still have to make your own predictions after you go through all the different information you have. And I love the Cavs tonight. They are going to be one of my best bets. And a great comment here from Joe. Alex Caruso will be missed on the defensive end. I couldn't agree more. I literally couldn't agree more.
100%.
I think with the matchup and the way the Cavs team is playing, they should have no issue getting the win here, and that's exactly what we're playing. Cavs on the money line. All right,
So
fellas.
pop quiz for you guys. Who's the one team to beat the Cavs at home this season?
Well, Pittsburgh doesn't have a team, so we're going to take that out of the equation. I'm trying to. I remember it, but I don't. Like, I want to say the Pacers, but it wasn't the Pacers. But it feels like it's a team like the Pacers. It wasn't.
It is an Eastern Conference team, 500 team.
It seemed like it was like the Nets or somebody.
Atlanta Hawks.
The Hawks.
They're the one team to beat them at home, man.
And that's an outlier game. Like, that's an outlier game. Like, we all know how this Cavs team and how much better they are than the Hawks. But every now and then you are going to have a stinker at home, and it looks like that was one of them. But for a team to go 18-1 to start the year at home, that's pretty damn impressive, let alone being 31-4. And for OKC, they're 30-5, which is just as damn impressive, being 13-3 on the road. This is a game I'm very much looking forward to. Everyone should watch this. This is a fantastic game to watch tonight, so I hope everyone enjoys it. We don't get many of these regular season matchups between the two clear powerhouses of the league so far, so everybody enjoy it. Should be a fun one to watch. Let's keep it moving, fellas. JD, what do you got? Not moving yet. Nothing. I read that wrong. We're moving on then. Next game we're going to, fellas, is going to be the Pistons taking on the Nets. Pistons are coming in 18-18, which to me is pretty surprising. They're 9-10 on the road this year. Going to Brooklyn, taking on the Nets, who are 13-23 on the season, and they are 5-11 at home. Let's go to the injury report. Asor Thompson and Jaden Ivey are both out for the Pistons. I do believe those are some pretty important players for that team, so that will hurt them a bit. On the other side, Ben Simmons is a game-time decision. Is he never not on the injury report for the last 47 years? D'Angelo Russell is out. Cam Johnson is out, and Bojan Bogdanovic is out. So pretty sure Jammer's starting for the Nets tonight. Jammer, what do you like in this game?
Man, that just leads right into what I was about to say. I have nothing positive to say about this Brooklyn Nets, man. But man, Detroit Pistons. This Detroit Pistons team has been surging. Outside of the two teams that we just talked about, the Pistons have the next best record in their last 10 games with a record of 8-2. They definitely don't have the well-known names, outside of Cade Cunningham, but they have been playing really good team basketball behind head coach J.B. Bickerstaff, who joined the team after coaching the Cavaliers for the last 4 years. This total for the game has been jumping up. And with Jaden Ivey going out, I'm kind of surprised that it's still surging. I think it opened up at 6.5. We're seeing it at 8.5 now. I snagged it at -7.5 last night. But this young Pistons squad, man, they've been definitely outplaying how I thought that they would be this season. And I think it's just the coaching staff getting that young group behind two veteran guys like Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway. It's going to be a tough one on the road, but without some of these names for the Nets, like if Ben Simmons doesn't play, D'Angelo Russell just got there. I know he hasn't been playing well this season, but I mean, that's still some buckets for that team. I was trying to get some props last night. There weren't any listed, so I'm looking at them now. Cade Cunningham.
I'm looking at them too, and they're absolute dog shit. This game is dog shit. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. This game is dog shit. Like, I don't know. I'm going to jump in here quickly and say I'm definitely not betting it. But, I mean, props, there could be some value. But this is such a crazy one with all the injuries. We don't even know who's playing for these teams.
Look, man, I think that the Pistons are playing well and that they kind of want to show that they can keep going. They can keep going on this little run that they're on. Sure. And, I mean, the 8.5, it's getting up there to the point where I usually don't like to touch it. But could be a good parlay piece, maybe buy that number down. But, yeah, none of these props are really sticking out to me here. Cade Cunningham has been on an absolute tear during this last 10 games. Yeah. He's a strong young player, and I would love to see them build something around this guy. But the 25.5 for him is a little high. That's right around his average for the last 10 games. I was really looking for some Jaden Ivey props, but with him being out tonight, that's a lot of scoring for them.
Yep.
So who's going to step up? That's the question. Is it going to be one of these veteran guys, or is it going to be one of the young guys? For me, no props are really sticking out, but I do like the Pistons to win and cover the spread.
I think they win as well. No betting for me. Like I said, this is a disaster of a game right now with the lineup information. So I'm not playing anything. JD, anything from you?
Yeah, just actually like Jammer said, the spread now is kind of getting up there. It's getting up there to the point where I wouldn't play it. But I would take a small play on Pistons team total over.
I can get
All
down
right.
with that.
I could get down with that as well. This Nets team has nobody. They are a bone. What's the right word for that? Bare and bones, something like that. They're a skeleton roster.
Yeah.
They don't have a ton of NBA talent out there right now. And then when you take a look at the injuries, no Bogdanovich, no Simmons, no Russells, no Watford, no Johnson. I mean, that's probably better. Those five guys right there are probably better than any starting lineup they're going to be able to put out there tonight anyway. So it's a tough one to try and get a good play on it. And this is exactly why, Joe, as well. Brooklyn has been great ATS this season. They're a team that when they're at that plus 12, plus 13 against some top teams, you take them because they lose by 10. They've been covering all year long. But in this situation, thank you, Nick, bare bones. Thank you very much. In this situation, I just don't see any value at 8.5. I like to take the Nets when they're over 10, and anything under that, I don't like to take them. But then you're talking about a Pistons team. Does anybody feel comfortable backing a Pistons team without Thompson and Jaden Ivey? It's just a difficult game, in my opinion. All right, boys, let's keep it moving. We have some other bangers on the slate today. I absolutely love this next one we're going over, so let's get right into it. Clippers taking on the Nuggets here. Clippers are coming in 20-16. They're 8-10 on the road, taking on a Nuggets team that is 20-15, but 10-7 at home. Over to the injury report. The Nuggets injury report is a book. Spencer Jones, game time decision. Nikola Jokic, game time decision. Aaron Gordon, game time decision. However, I don't think Gordon will play. Vlatko Konkar out and Darren Holmes out for the season. On the other side, the Clippers will be without just P.J. Tucker. Jammer, crazy last game for the Clippers. They had a big lead against Minnesota. They ended up covering that game by the hook and lost 108-106. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, this one's a tough one. I've been paying attention to this line. But I will say, man, this Denver Nuggets team is not the same team that we've seen, absolutely dominate the Western Conference these last couple seasons. They had a really slow start from Jamal Murray, and then obviously that calf injury to Aaron Gordon. And the team is where they are simply by the play of MVP candidate Nikola Jokic, who's averaging a godly 31, 13, and 10 this season. And it's like the team's just going to go as far as he goes.
Yep.
And right now the line is kind of telling me he's probably not going to play tonight. I know he had an illness. He didn't play last night. We're not seeing any props for any of the Nuggets. So it must be a true game time decision for him. If I had to guess, like last night I was thinking there's no way. Like I'm thinking he's just sit the game last night. He's going to play tonight. But, I mean, the line's really telling me that he's not.
I feel like he's not going to play by the line as well. I read it the exact same way you did when I saw the line and went through this game. There's no way in hell he's playing with the way the line is. Maybe because it's a back-to-back, maybe because they had a grueling game against the Celtics, but either way, I do think the line is where it's at because he is not playing. So I agree with you.
Yep. And then on the other side of the ball, struggling Clippers, they finally got their star, Kawhi Leonard, back on the court.
Yep.
However, we have only seen him play 2 games, averaging 10 points per game in only 20 minutes. So they definitely needed some help because that team can't go very far with Norman Powell and an aging James Harden. So getting him back on the court is certainly going to change things. But as for props and a side in the game, I will be eyeing that injury report like a hawk. But in terms of a prop, I think I am going to take a little flyer on Kawhi Leonard. I think we could see him if Jokic isn't playing. I could see him getting over his total of 13.5 points.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know I just said he's only averaging 10 points over the last 2 games, but third game back, third time's a charm. Get the ball rolling against a strong team that we've seen dominate in the last couple of years. Give me Kawhi Leonard over 13.5 points is my only prop on the game.
Man, let me tell you something. When you take a look at this Clippers lineup, it's kind of good. Like, it's not that bad. You take a look, Norm Powell's averaging 24 points a game this year, 23.5. I rounded up a little bit. Don't shoot me. He's been good. James Harden averaging 22 points per game, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. He's been good. Kawhi Leonard back in the fold. I know he doesn't have huge numbers yet, but he will get
Mhm.
back and do well. And they have my guy Ivica Zubac, which I'm pretty sure
Yep.
Zubac is Russian for gets rebound. The guy's all over the glass all the time. And Chris Dunn's been playing some good ball too. I know Chris Dunn's probably the weakness in the lineup, but they've been playing some good ball. I do think Jokic will not play tonight, and I do think Denver will be a little fatigued with how they look, with how they played last night as well. So I'm all over the Clippers minus the 2.5. I think they're going to get better and better as Kawhi Leonard gets more back in the fold, as he gets his conditioning back, as he's able to play more minutes. I think they're only going to get better and better, and I'm definitely going to be taking the Clippers here at the minus 2.5. Jammer, getting a lot of love today. Jolly Roger. Appreciate you tuning in, Jolly Roger. I agree. I think Jammer is an ace. JD, what do you got?
Guys, for this game, I just have one thing, and that is sometimes the
Oh,
best play.
wait.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
The issue is there's so many things. Go.
Sometimes the best play is no play.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, no, sometimes I agree with you. So I definitely agree with you. There's been a couple today I've been using the line. But let's keep it moving then. We still have one more game we're breaking down today, and I'm definitely very excited for this one. We're going to the Spurs taking on the Bucks. Spurs are coming into this one quite a surprise to me this year. They've been a lot better than I anticipated. They are 18-18. They are 6-10 on the road, which they are tonight. But they've been a pretty good home team. They've been much better at home. The Bucks, on the other end, they are 18-16. Haven't been great. 11-7 at home, so they're playing better at home as well. But 18-16 for this Bucks team is not where they want it to be 34 games into the season. Let's look at the injury report. Jeremy Sochan is out for the Spurs. Riley Minix is a game-time decision, whoever the hell that is. And on the other side, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Andre Jackson, and Chris Middleton are all game-time decisions. So a lot of question marks on the Bucks side for this one. Jammer, I keep going to you because you're a resident NBA expert. Going back to you. What do you got?
You were saying game of the night earlier. I think this one might be, man, like worldwide, maybe stateside.
Oh, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah. If you're
we're
putting
talking small market
superstars
versus,
in here, yeah.
Oh yeah. So for me, I think this is the one I'm most excited to watch. ESPN is getting a gift tonight with that OKC Cleveland matchup, and then closing the night out with the Spurs and Bucks. Super excited to watch these two. If Giannis goes, I'm assuming he will, because ESPN, they got a lot of money. They're going to want to make sure that the superstars are out there playing whenever they got the games. These two played, I guess not the two teams, but Giannis and Wemby, they matched up one time last year with the Bucks pulling out a close one, winning by 4 on the road. Giannis absolutely balled out with a stat line of 44, 14, and 7.
Yeah.
Wemby had a strong night at 27, 9, and 1 with 5 blocks. But obviously the team comp wasn't built up as well last year. They were really struggling. And this year, it's fun to see them. I want to see them get above that 500 mark. But recently, man, when Wemby has been matched up with another superstar, he has really shown out. Just last month, twice against the Nuggets, he had a 20, 23, and 3 stat line. He had another game against the Nuggets, 35, 18, and 4. Sorry to bring this one up, Alpha, but against your Knicks,
I knew that was coming.
42, 18, and 4.
Who won the game? Who won the game?
Hey, man. We're just talking about the stars here. We're not talking
Absolutely.
about the team. But the Bucks certainly have more notable names on their roster, but the Spurs, man, they built quite a young squad around Wemby and CP3. 7 players on the roster averaging 10 points per game or more. I'm fully expecting a big game out of the surging young Spurs here, and the Bucks have not played well at home recently, losing to the Nets twice and the Trailblazers most recently. They have not won a game at home in a while.
Yep.
So for me, I'm going to be backing the Spurs here at the plus 5.5 number, and I'm definitely, there were no props last night, but I'm looking at them now. Victor Wembanyama, over 41.5 PRA.
I love that.
If Giannis plays, man, I'm fully expecting him to have one of those crazy games that I just recently talked about. 41.5 seems way too low for him. They're offering numbers on Giannis, so they must be expecting him to play. I'm super excited to see these two go head-to-head. I know we won't see them matched up all the time, but, whenever those two do, man, it's going to be must-see TV. So give me the Spurs plus 5.5 and give me that PRA of 41.5 on Wemby, man.
I am tailing that Wemby PRA. I absolutely love that one, and I'm also on the Spurs in this matchup. I am not sold on this Bucks team. If you guys have been watching the show since we started with the NBA, all of that, you know how I feel about this Bucks team. You know that I believe that Giannis should be traded and they need to blow the whole thing up. I don't think they have a championship caliber roster, and with the guys that they have, some aging superstars, some guys that, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, guys that have not, I don't think they can get it done with. I think they do need to blow it up and maybe rebuild a bit. When you take a look at how Milwaukee's done against expectation this year, they're 15-19 against the spread with one push. So they've been one of the worst spread covering teams in the NBA. Well, on the other side, the Spurs are one of the better teams. They're 19-17 against the spread. They're over 50%, and they've been playing some good basketball, and this team gets better and better as the season has gone on. Jammer put it perfectly. This Wemby guy is unbelievable. He is unbelievable to watch play basketball. You said you wanted to see Giannis in there to see them go head-to-head. I want to see him on Brook Lopez. That's what I want to see, because that, to me, would be hilarious to see the speed of Wemby, kind of the versatility he brings, how he can dribble like a point guard, move around, create his own shot against a guy like Brook Lopez, who
send Brook Lopez out to the three with Wemby, man. Send him out to the 3-point line.
Exactly. I find that would be very entertaining. So I'm looking forward to this game. I think the Spurs will get it done plus 5.5. They may win outright. I would not be surprised if they won this game outright. Give me the Spurs. JD, what we got?
Well, first off, as far as our TikTok goes, I actually just want to thank everybody over there. Y'all are we're getting gifts, we're getting like worlds thrown at us here. I still don't know what any of this means.
I was about to say, none of us know what that means, by the way, but thank you, I think.
Yes. Just like, thank you very much. I actually will learn what all this means soon. But as far as this game goes, Giannis plays tonight. He definitely plays. Giannis is going to have a big game. He's going to have a pretty crazy, actually, like stat line. He is going to have a triple-double. Give me that at plus 1,200.
Let's go.
I know JD was hyping up. He had a big play. He didn't tell us what it was, but I knew he had a big plus money play.
I knew it had to be coming soon.
Tell him again, JD, what the odds are on that play. We got to hear it again. Did you say what?
Giannis triple-double at plus 1,200.
Plus 1,200. There it is. I mean, how do you not tail that at those odds? I'll throw a couple bones on that, see if we can get that. So I appreciate that. Let's get that one cashed. And fellas, we still have a couple things we got to do on the show. Unfortunately, that was our last breakdown of the day, but you guys know we still have things that we do on this show that we do every single day. We're going to get right into our best bets of the day. We're going to start with our guy, Jammer. Jammer, what you got?
I got 3 for the boys. One of these lines have moved a little bit, but, I mentioned it. Pistons minus 7.5, grabbed it last night. It's getting up to the point where it's like, maybe I don't want to touch it. But especially with Jaden Ivey being out, I kind of expected him to play. But I've just literally nothing good to say about this Nets squad. Pistons have been hot. I think they want to keep it going. So give me the Pistons minus 7.5. Mentioned it. The first game that's going to be on ESPN is that Cavs Thunder game. I'm going to be rolling with Evan Mobley under 9.5 rebounds. I think the paint is just going to be absolutely dominated by all the bodies down there, but mostly Jared Allen and Isaiah Hartenstein. I think he's going to find
I miss him. I miss him so much.
Yep, that was a big loss for your boys. But, I think it's going to be tough for Evan Mobley to find himself to get 10-plus rebounds. So I'm on his under 9.5. And then the game that we just talked about, I'm fully JD's expecting a big game out of Giannis. I'm expecting a huge game out of Wemby. Give me the Spurs plus 5.5. That's the 3 I got for you.
There we go. I'll jump in here next. Cavs on the money line. Clippers as well. Let's go, boys. Clippers -2. Cavs on the money line. Those are my best bets of the day. And we're cashing both. You could already cash them. JD, what do you got?
All right, let's go back to our first game. And actually, let's go with the UConn team total over.
Okay,
that's at 72.5 still. I definitely really like that play. And then I'm gonna use it as an actual best bet. Give me Giannis triple double at plus 1,200.
I cannot wait to come back on here tomorrow and just see JD smiling. And we're going to sit here being like, here we go, because this guy's going to be celebrating because he's cashing that plus 1,200. I'm tailing, so I'll celebrate with you tomorrow. And guys, it's been a fantastic show. Jammer, any words for the people before we get the hell out of here?
Hey, if you're out there in the snow, man, stay warm, especially you, JD.
If you're going to crawl under your house to fix any heating equipment, we want to wish you the best of luck. JD, before we get you out there, what final words do you have for the people?
Just one thing. Let's fucking win.
Let's fucking win. By the way, I didn't call this out today. It's a fantastic sweater on you. I like that. I like that color. Let's fucking win. We're winning them all. The best bets are sweeping. We appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Actually, JD, tomorrow's a big episode, isn't it? I think tomorrow is our college football playoff next round episode, if I'm not mistaken. So we have some bangers lined up. Make sure you guys are tuned in, and everyone in the comments who's been dropping a ton of comments, except for Footy. We appreciate every single one of you. Just kidding, Footy. He's dropping a Liverpool over today, over 3.5. If you guys like Footy, he's been red hot. He's been red hot. Make sure you guys check him out. We'll be back tomorrow, like I said, same time, same place. Peace. Let's fucking win.